Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Black with only one Vanillite was a brutal solo run. Let's follow that up with a team run. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Platinum with a team of only fighting types. You've probably seen some of my team runs where every Pokemon has to be one type, so I probably don't need to explain the run too much, but every Pokemon we use has to at least be part fighting type. I think this is going to be really interesting, just like the fire type only run, because there aren't really that many fighting types in the game until post-game. Everyone knows that there aren't many fire types in the game, but there really aren't that many fighting types either. Still, we can get some decent type variety, so we can make an interesting team, so I think this is going to be a fun one. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'm sure that I'll win, but there's going to be a lot of parts of the run that I know are going to be pretty brutal. I'm excited to see how the last two fights go especially. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use fighting type Pokemon. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So right off the bat, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Chimchar with Heracross so that we can do the whole run with it. I need a fighting type to start with, after all. Our nature is Careful for more special defense at the cost of less special attack. Well, that actually makes us pretty tanky against special moves, and our special attack is useless anyway, so this seems like a solid nature. Heracross is such a crazy Pokemon. Our attack is almost as high as our health at the start. So while we travel to the first rival fight, let me explain my thinking on starting with Heracross. Yeah, I could just go with the fire starter and evolve it into a fighting type over time, but we already used it in the fire type only run, so I thought it might be more interesting if I used something else. As for why I picked Heracross, it's because it's the only fighting type Pokemon that you can get before beating the Pokemon champion that's actually really hard to catch. It has a 5% chance of appearing on 2 different types of honey tree, and we don't even know what ones they are, so we don't know which ones to slather the honey on. The chances of me actually catching one within the time it requires to play one of these runs is probably not that far off of me catching a shiny, so it makes sense to start with it for the sake of an interesting run. Speaking of, we get a lot of Pokemon pretty early in the run, so hopefully that means that we'll actually get some use out of most of them. We make our first catch right after the rival fight, so let's get that done and over with. Yeah, as I thought, it was pretty easy, although all the growls really did weaken our attack stat. It's really awesome that we start with Horn Attack because a 65 power move is pretty fantastic for the early game. Hey, it's time for our first new Pokemon already, Machamp. I'm actually really pumped about this because I've never gotten to use the ability No Guard before. It makes it so both my attacks and my opponent's attacks against us will always hit. This even applies if they're using stuff like Fly. Apparently, it also doubles the encounter rate when at the front of the party, so it could be good for grinding, but I really think that this is just a fun-looking ability, so I'm excited to use it. Plus, our ability is naughty for less special defense and more attack. I'm loving the extra attack, but less special defense might make us get one-shot by a lot of strong psychic moves. I'd rather something like Adamant, but I'm not going to spend hours trying to get the absolute best Machamp. That's not really what my challenge runs are about. Now let's go beat that rock gym. I'm iffy on how it's gonna go since Heracross doesn't get any fighting moves until level 19, but who knows, maybe Machamp has this handled all by himself after I gain a few levels. Wow, so I thought the rock gym might be easy, but I didn't think it'd be a no damage sweep. Thanks to the doubled encounter rate, I ended up leveling up Machamp incredibly quickly, so after only about 20 minutes of grinding, I walked into the gym and mopped the floor with everyone. I think Cranidos could probably have done some damage, but we crit our Karate Chop for a one-shot, so it just wasn't that bad. Alright, so we've got a few major fights before we get to our next Pokemon. There's Commander Mars and the Grass Gym. Now I remember Mars always opens with a Zubat that somehow already has Toxic, so I figure I'm not going to get a one-shot on that one, and I might get poisoned as a result. But with 2 Pokemon on my team, I feel confident that I can win regardless. As for the Grass Gym, I'm just not sure. I could see it being easy with Aerial Ace since Heracross learns that at such a low level, but if something like Paralysis happens, then I could see it not going great. It's not like we learn any bug moves for a very long time, so hopefully we just aren't going to need the same type attack bonus. By the way, as I'm sure you guys know, the show is mostly fan-funded at this point. I don't really get many sponsorships. Canada's got insanely expensive over the last Okay, well, over over the last decade, but especially over the last 5-ish years, and changes to the YouTube mid-roll system as well as the algorithm pretty much nuked my income despite the viewer engagement on these videos being fantastic. If you want to see these videos early, then either pledging on Patreon or even joining the YouTube members thingy will get you an early viewing link the moment the video is done, so usually about a week ahead of time. I also have donation links in the description of my streams and videos. The show is always going to be free, so never feel obligated, but if you would like to donate, it would make a big difference for me and my family. The big streamathon I've been doing has been going very well so far. I've been having a very fun time with it. I've been able to make a lot of fun stuff for you guys, and it seems like everyone's really happy about it. So that means a lot to me. Thanks. Alright, so Mars was pretty easy because Zubat wasn't a problem, but we really took way more damage than I was expecting against Perugly. I know the Machamp is still pretty frail at this level, but man, I thought it would have gone better. It's not like we could have lost, though. I mean, even if we got crit and fainted, I'm sure Heracross could have finished the fight. So the Grass Gym wasn't too bad. We have both Brick Break and Aerial Ace, and they came in really handy. Brick Break is able to shatter the Reflect that she likes to start with, and of course Aerial Ace hit hard. Roserade at the end took a few hits and landed some Grass Knots on us, but it didn't do much, so we won. I'm loving how this is going so far. Think Commander Jupiter could be difficult? So Jupiter was interesting. Right away, we took huge damage from Zubat just because we're double weak to its wing attack, but we still take it out. As Skuntank came out, we hit hard and I thought we would be fine, but then Smokescreen hit us and we started missing left and right. Despite us taking very little damage per hit, we actually eventually fainted and had to send Machamp in, and even then we had a close call due to us getting crit by Night Slash. That was weirdly dangerous. Hey, you ready for another Pokemon with a really cool ability? It's Meditite. This is one of those Pokemon where you look at the stats and it looks really weak, until you notice the ability. The description of Pure Power isn't really all that descriptive. Shocker, I know, that's like half of abilities in Pokemon. But Bulbapedia tells me that it's literally doubling the attack stat. That is unreal, and I figure it's going to end up making Medicham one of our best Pokemon. Oh yeah, and I totally could have gotten this before the Grass Gym, by the way. I just didn't realize at first that you could catch a Meditite on this route east of town, not just in Mount Coronet. Now I'm gonna go grab the TM for Earthquake, and then take a crack at the Ghost Gym. On our way though, I took Ralts. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Okay, dumb joke aside, I caught a Ralts. I can't use it since it's not fighting type, but if I slap an experience share on it, then eventually I could turn it into Gallade and that'll be a fighting type. Will it be worth it, or is it just gonna slow down the leveling of the rest of my team for ages? Who knows? So I ended up losing the first try at the Ghost Gym pretty badly and going back to grind a little bit to catch up the lower leveled members of the team. When I suddenly remembered, I picked up the TM for Thief earlier. So I slapped on Heracross and then took them out pretty easily. I probably still needed that grinding session though. I doubt Heracross would have won with Thief at that level that I got there at the first time. And some of those weaker members of the team really need the levels. We also got the TM for Shadow Claw, so that'll be an even better move for fighting ghosts and psychic types in the future. I'm not sure how our rival on the way out of town is gonna go though. He does start with a pretty strong flying type. Alright, so Staravia is first, and our attack will go down, so I had Machoke use Revenge. Even with the attack drop, it was strong enough for a one-shot. Then I switched to Heracross as Prin Pulp came out so I could shake off the attack drop. 2 Brick Breaks took it out, as it did a bit of damage with Peck. Ponyta was just a one-shot with Brick Break, and last was Roserade, but we got an Aerial Ace so it's no problem. I didn't think we would have such good type coverage so early in the run. Like, there's only 4 types right now that we aren't super effective against. Water, Dragon, Flying, and Ground. That's fantastic for a monotype run, although I'm sure there's still type combinations that we're not super effective against. There is so much to do now. Right away I catch Croagunk, easily one of my favorite all-time Pokemon designs. Not as big of a fan of its evolution, but it's still cool. This is our fighting and poison type. It's not an amazing Pokemon in this game, but I still really like it. I also went and grabbed all kinds of TMs and Hell items since there's a lot around here. Dig, Aerial Ace, there's a Razor Claw, there's all kinds of good stuff to help at the fighting gym. Man, I can't wait for that fight. I want that TM for Drain Punch so bad. Oh, plus I can get the big root so that we can heal more off Drain Punch, so that's kinda cool. I also get my hands on the Dawnstone from the swamp, so I was able to get our Gallade. For some reason, I had it in my head that we wouldn't get a Dawnstone until later in the run. Guess I really will get to use Gallade for a while, so that's pretty cool. Oh, and I finally got around to testing Meditite's hidden power. It's water type, so that's a little more coverage. Don't really know if it's any good, since if I remember right, the power of this move is a bit random as well, but who knows. At least it adds ground to the list of types that we're good against. Alright, so I'm at the fighting gym, and right away, Heracross just one-shots their Meditite, no problem. Second is her Machoke, so I kept Heracross in. We didn't get a one-shot, but we didn't get hurt too much from a Rock Tomb either. Because it dropped our speed though, I had to switch to Machoke when Lucario came out. I probably should have gone for Revenge, but I tried Earthquake instead, and it almost got a knockout. I stuck with it, nearly fainting to a Force Palm, but easily finishing the fight. Well, we've actually got a decent little team put together now, so I'm feeling good. We have another rival fight coming up. Then there's the water gym that's often pretty hard. I know that there's a Cyrus fight after, but he likes dark types, so I think I should have a pretty easy time. Then there's only one more rival fight before our last Pokemon. I'm sure you guys already know what it is, I don't even have to say. I'm really loving how this run is going, I've got to say. These are fun Pokemon, things have been interesting and not too grindy. We have a decent move selection. It's fun doing some team runs again. I feel like I was doing too many solo runs for a while there. So the rival fight actually starts off really badly, since Staravia is a higher level than our whole team other than Heracross. We did good damage with Revenge from Machoke, but we went down easily in 2 hits, and Meditite ended up just getting one shot. I was worried I'd get swept when Heracross was faster and finished us off. Next is Ponyta, who's just a one-shot, but after that is Prinpulp, and it survived a hit and crit us with Peck for massive damage. We took it out, and last is Roserade, who of course went down in one Aerial Ace. I think we're starting to fall behind in levels, and it's about to make the next chunk of the game a lot harder. So here I am, grinding in this awful spot in the marsh. It's pretty awesome that we've done so well that I can make this much progress at such a low level, but even the highest leveled members of our team were a lower level than random trainers in the water gym, so I couldn't even make it to the gym leader. Some of our team are way under-leveled, so I decided that it's time I do a really big grind session. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the big streamathon, by the way, because I know that by the time that this goes up, I'll be into the streamathon proper. I've been streaming Pokemon stuff like crazy here on YouTube to help raise funds to keep the business going. At the time that I'm typing this, I just finished the first stream and it went awesome. Thanks again for all the support, guys. It means the world to me. I went ahead and added all kinds of new rewards and tiers to both YouTube memberships and Patreon, so if you've been a member for a long time, then make sure to double check and see what new rewards you might have. Editing MDB here, I'm actually 5 streams into the streamathon now, and a lot of people have been gifted memberships. So if you comment on the show a lot, there's a chance you got one of these random membership gifts. You should probably check that, because if you got it, then yeah, you might have access to early videos and stuff, depending on what tier you are gifted. And I think the gifts are usually the $5 tier, so yeah, you've got early access to the videos. Alright, first try at the water gym, and I opened with Croagunk since it's still a little under-leveled, and I just need to sacrifice something to get around Water Onyx having Intimidate. Naturally, we instantly faint, and I had to send in Heracross, but we're doing decent damage. Waterfall is hurting them a lot, and I thought I was about to leave him with a Sliver when we actually ended up taking him out. Second is Floatzel, so I had Machoke use Revenge. We lost half of our health to Brine, but Revenge crit, so we got a one-shot. Last is Quagsire, so I had Heracross just Karate Chop a few times, but we got put to sleep off Yawn and taken out. I had to finish it off with Heracross right after. That grind was absolutely necessary. Hey, so check it out, on my way to Cyrus, our Machoke hit level 37 and evolved into Machamp. I'm using that randomizer option that makes it so that trait evolutions instead evolve with a level up, since you guys always want me to use it. I love it because it means I get to use Machamp, and it's a cool Pokemon. But can we take a moment to appreciate how weird Machamp looks in Platinum? It almost looks as if the head and arms are just like a Geodude dressed up like the head and arms of a Machamp, and it's on a cardboard cutout of a jacked body. I feel like the head and top arms could just float away and the body would still be flexing. It's just insane looking. I don't remember it looking this weird in any other game. Alright, well the Cyrus fight wasn't what I was expecting at all. Normally Cyrus isn't that hard to beat in the first fight. Well, his first 2 Pokemon were pretty easy, but somehow his Murkrow absolutely destroyed us. He outsped and swept most of our team. Look, I know we're weak to flying type, but that was insane. I can't believe that I have to go grind just to beat one Murkrow. What a weird run. So after another grind session, the fight went almost the exact same, but this time we have Cross Chop on Machamp. Normally it's so inaccurate that I don't really like it, but we have no guard so we can't miss, so it's an easy knockout when it crits. I kinda doubt I needed it to crit though. I'm worried about the upcoming rival fight, just because the last one was pretty hard. Alright, this seems to be a bit of a trend. As long as the Staravia fight goes fine, we can pretty much mop the floor with his team. Well, thanks to him using double team and no guard letting us hit him anyway, Staravia wasn't too bad and the rest of his team was really easy. That means it's finally time for our last Pokemon. I went ahead and got the egg for Riolu from Iron Island. It'll take a while before it hatches, and even once it does, I'll still need a lot of levels before it's good, but it's a really high potential Pokemon. I just hope that we get a good nature, since it's not like I can just go catch a new one. Now we need to go take out the Steel and Ice gyms. Steel should be really easy, but I'm not sure how the Ice gym is gonna go. Frostlass is probably gonna cause some issues. Hey, also, while I was in the PC depositing my HM Pokemon, I noticed that one of the Croagunks that I caught while looking for one with a good nature had Black Sludge, so I'm gonna give that to the one that we actually have so that it's recovering some health. It's kinda cool. It's basically like leftovers for a poison type. Croagunk isn't the best Pokemon in the world to be using leftovers, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, as expected, the Steel Gym was incredibly easy. Kinda worried about that Ice Gym, though. We may be good against Ice, but she's got that Frostlass with Snow Cloak, and it's always hailing because of Obama Snow, so I expect that fight could become a real mess. Alright, third try at the Ice Gym because I made some bad switch choices the first few times. Right away, Sneasel goes down to a Cross Chop and we don't get hurt too much, then she sends out Frostlass second. Well, I just used Thief as she was using Double Team, and we got reasonably lucky, not missing too much. We took her out in 3 hits, but we lost 2/3 of our health in the process. Piloswine is next, so I sent in Machamp to try and overpower it. Cross Chop ended up getting a one-shot, so last was Abomasnow. He hit Woodhammer to bring us to 10 health, but our Cross Chop took him down. Hey, that wasn't too bad. Alright, I have to admit, I'm really worried about this next chunk of the game. We got a Cyrus fight, then we climb the mountain, and we fight him again. Well, the last time we fought him, he easily beat us with a Murkrow, and that's usually an easy fight. He's got a Honchkrow now, and I expect it to be a mess. Plus, in the final fight with him, we won't have our full team. I need to have HM Pokemon to climb the mountain, so I'll at least need my B-Barrel to cover the surfing and rock climbing. I'm pretty sure it's the only major fight of the game remaining where we aren't going to have our full team, so it's not that bad, but the fight itself is probably going to be pretty brutal. I just have to hope that we can get fast and strong enough to take out Honchkrow before he takes out most of our team. I doubt that we can one-shot him, but I'm hoping that if I throw 2 heavy hitters at it, then the second one can take it out after the first one faints. I guess we'll find out. Okay, a couple tries into the Cyrus fight. Sneasel often hurts us at the start, but this time he just used Screech, so we one-shot him with Cross Chop, then switched to Gallade as Crobat came out. Now this thing is always a nightmare to deal with, but this time we were doing great damage with Psycho Cut, and we had enough health to tank 2 hits, so we knocked him out. Last is Honchkrow, and I was basically just throwing my whole team at it, losing until Heracross ended up being faster. We got a knockout, but it is crazy how much of a beast that Honchkrow is. Next is a double battle, and like usual, it takes ages. I ended up just slowly picking down one whole trainer's team so that we could gang up on the other one, and you know what? This may have actually been the best I've ever seen our rival do in this fight. At least with his Munchlax it is. He didn't use Stockpile and Swallow the whole time like usual. He actually bothered to use Body Slam and did some really great damage. We could have actually lost if he played worse or if we got unlucky, because a lot of these Pokemon in this fight can do some pretty serious damage to us. We won, of course, but I'm really worried about the final Cyrus fight. Next is the final Cyrus fight, and right away we just outspeed and one-shot Houndoom with a Brick Break, but second is Crobat. This one is always terrifying, but I sent in Machamp, hoping to Rock Slide it. Right away we got confused and hit ourselves, then we got badly poisoned off Toxic, but we crit a Rock Slide for a one-shot. I stayed in as Honchkrow came out, hoping to hit a Cross Chop. We actually got hit by Psychic, survived with a Sliver, hit Cross Chop, then fainted to poison damage. He used a full restore as we sent Heracross in, but Brick Break crit for a one-shot. That was lucky. Water Onix is next, so I sent in Toxicroak to tank Intimidate and get one-shot by Earthquake, then I sent Gallade back in to spam Psycho Cut. It wasn't doing amazing damage though, so we went down fast. All we have left is Heracross, so I finished it with Close Combat, taking it out but also dropping our defense and special defense. Last is his Weavile, who gets us with Fake Out to flinch us, then hits Ice Punch for big damage. When we survived though, I knew we would win. One Close Combat took it out. What a close fight. After that is Electric Gym time. First time I was using Machamp with Earthquake, and it was hardly a knockout after we took a ton of damage. But this time, I just used Heracross, who crit Close Combat for an instant knockout. Way better start. Luxray is second, so I use Earthquake against this one instead. We lose the exchange because of being slower, but we land a big hit. Thanks to that, Heracross could come out and finish it off. For Electivire, I hit Close Combat for massive damage, but it dropped our defense, so Fire Punch hit us really hard. He was healthy enough to not use a full restore though, so we took him out and then switched to Toxicroak as Raichu came out. This is just so that I could do a little damage and get the defense back on Heracross. We didn't do much damage with Toxicroak itself. Or at least, that was the plan, but we poisoned it at the perfect time and it actually ended up taking him out. I think this is the first time the whole run that Toxicroak has actually really helped us. It's been kind of a dud. Alright, we're on our way to the rival fight and the Elite Four. I'm not really sure how to feel. On paper, this looks like it might not be too bad. Most of Aaron's team is probably a sweep with Aerial Ace. Bertha might be a little bit tough. Flint is usually pretty easy. Then we have Lucian, who simply has to be difficult. I have some TMs and I can learn some good moves specifically for that fight, but I still assume that we're going to need a lot of levels before I could actually win. And of course, Cynthia is always a pretty tough champion. Her team is just really solid and Garchomp is a beast. Let's get the last rival fight out of the way and find out. Rival time. Right away for Staraptor, I just sacrificed Machamp to do a little damage and tank Intimidate, then I switched to Heracross to outspeed it and finish it off with Close Combat. Next is Rapidash, so I tried to fight it with Medicham, but I missed a high jump kick, then used Bounce, so I missed again. We never hit it before we fainted, but Gallade did a much better job. We got burned, so we had to hit it extra, and it made it sunny, but we still took it out pretty well. Roserade is next, but it was an easy one-shot with Aerial Ace, and Snorlax is of course a one-shot with Close Combat. Empoleon is a one-shot, so last is his own Heracross. I switched to Toxicroak so that we can land a Poison Jab and faint, then go back to our Heracross and hit Aerial Ace for the win. Not too bad. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our team. I grinded just a little after the rival fight, but I think I'm still gonna have to grind more. Also, the Riolu egg literally just hatched as I was walking to the PC to get my Surf Pokemon back so I could grind, so I don't really think that the level 1 Riolu is gonna help us much, but hey, it'll be fun to get it in the Hall of Fame. I don't think there's any chance that we can beat Lucian at this level, so I'm gonna grind the team up to a minimum of 50, either than Riolu. Then I'm gonna start making tries at the Elite Four. Make your final guess on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Bug Trainer Aaron. Right away, Yanmega nearly one-shots Machamp as we hit a Rock Slide to one-shot it in return. That was super close. Second was Drapion though, and I was hoping that Quick Claw would let us go first, but it didn't. We went down and sent in Medicham, but we only did half his health and damage before going down. And I had to send Gallade in, who did pretty awful. We hardly did any damage at all before going down. Finally, though, we had whittled him down enough that Heracross could jump in and finish him off, but only after we lost over 100 health to Aerial Ace. That Drapion is brutal. As his Heracross came out, we just got a one-shot, and his Vespiquen wasn't too much of an issue thanks to it hardly being able to hurt us. Last is Scizor, so I hit Close Combat to leave it with a Sliver as it finished us off. I had hoped that Toxicroak could finish it, but he used a full restore and that doomed us. We were so incredibly close. I think it's time to crack out the rare candies and level up the team by 5 at a time. I mean, again, either than Riolu. So I try more at level 55, but this goes completely differently. Yanmega wastes his chance to hit us by using Double Team, a move that doesn't work when we have no guard. And that means we actually get to Earthquake Drapion to take it out. Because of that, the whole rest of his team was pretty easy. I guess Vespiquen was harder this time just due to it using Defense Order, but it was still really easy. Second is Ground Trainer Bertha. Right away, I just used our new Mega Horn to one-shot Whiscash with a crit, then Gliscor came out as we switched to Machamp. Now this thing was the totally tanky monster of this fight, and we were throwing Pokemon after Pokemon at it. Gliscor pretty much took out half of our team before we finally took it out with Heracross, and we still lost more than half of our health to it. Golem was thankfully a one-shot with close combat, and I switched to Toxicroak as Rhyperior came out just to get my defense back. We got one-shot, and I sent Heracross in to one-shot it as well. I really didn't think that I would since she has an ability to weaken super effective moves. Last is Hippowdon, so I sent in Riolu to hit Quick Attack and Feint, then sent Heracross back in. Close Combat didn't get the knockout, Stone Edge missed, and we hit another one to win. If that Stone Edge had hit, then we'd have lost right at the end. Third is Fire Trainer Flint. First is Houndoom, who's a one-shot like with Cyrus, and second is Flareon, so I sent in Machamp. We tanked a huge overheat, then one-shot it with Earthquake. Next is Rapidash, so I switched to Heracross, but right away, Rapidash used Bounce. Knowing we'd faint, I switched to Riolu, let it faint, then sent in Toxicroak to hit Poison Jab while Rapidash used Sunny Day. It worked great because then Rapidash made us faint with Flare Blitz. The recoil damage was so bad that he fainted. For Infernape, I sent in Machamp, and our Quick Claw let us go first and crit a Cross Chop for a knockout. And last was Magmortar, but our Quick Claw kicked in again and Earthquake got the knockout. That was awesome. Fourth is Psychic Trainer Lucian. So after an insane 16 straight attempts where either Mr. Mime used Reflect right away, or we missed Mega Horn on Mr. Mime or Espeon, we finally got this run where we simply hit each one of them each time and knocked them out. Psychic hurt us a ton, but we survived. Alakazam could have finished us off, but he missed Focus Blast, so we took him out too. Bronzong survived close combat to finish us off, finally, but Machamp was able to come in. He may have used a full restore, but we knocked him out with 2 Cross Chops. As his Gallade came out, I tried Machamp's Earthquake. We hit once before we fainted, but his berry kept him healthy. I then sent in our Gallade to spam Drain Punch just to whittle him down. We still fainted, but we did some damage. Last, I sent in Medicham to finish it off with a high jump kick. I failed a million times right at the start and needed the luck of Alakazam missing. I was sure I was going to need more levels for this one. Finally, Pokemon Champion Cynthia. First is Spiritomb, who hits kinda hard with Psychic, but we take it out with 2 Mega Horns, and second is Togekiss. This thing can take out most of our team in one hit, so I just hit 2 Psycho Cuts to whittle it down, then had Heracross use Close Combat to finish it off. I doubt I needed both Psycho Cuts, though. For Melodic, I used Medicham and hit some high jump kicks for the knockout after losing most of our health to Surf, and Lucario ended up going down in 1 Cross Chop. I figured that is the Quick Claw letting me go first there. Second from last is Roserade, so I used Aerial Ace and we actually got outsped and nearly fainted to Extrasensory. And we didn't get a one-shot, somehow. She used a full restore and we hit twice to finish it off. Guess we had a speed tie. And last is Garchomp, who literally swept the entire rest of our team. Yeah, this is obviously not happening yet. I'm gonna go get more levels. Well, I was, kinda hoping to have a really interesting level 60 fight, but here we are. Things went almost the exact same for the whole fight, other than taking a bit less damage here and there. None of that would save us, though, as we still clearly didn't stand a chance against Garchomp, and yet, he used Dragon Rush for no reason and ended up missing. Twice. So we took it out. In the end, we won at this level through a very lucky break. Well, that got a bit difficult near the end, but overall I had a really fun time. Crazy that the Lucario egg took so insanely long to hatch that I never even got to level it up, but it's also kind of funny that we got a level 1 into the Hall of Fame. Really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next Saturday like usual with Pokemon Fire Red with only 1 Megcargo. I thought the run was really fun and hard in Emerald, so let's try it in Fire Red. I kinda think I might just not win. As always, I'm looking at your suggestions in the comments in the challenge request section of my Discord channel and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time, but I guess new addition to the outros because of Patreon and memberships and stuff on YouTube getting new benefits. I have a $50 supporter shout out tier, so I have a few names to shout out here. We have James Bisonet, Kelly Moneymaker, Skyship. Oh, hold on. No. wrong list. We actually have Jacob Busby, Javid Kusro, George Chaos, Sonlin, and Andy Mylegzin. Thanks so much for the support, guys. I very much appreciate it. At the time I'm doing this voiceover, those are the only names in that tier right now, but it's entirely possible that by the time this airs, there might be more people. So bear with me. If you're in that tier and you haven't heard your name yet, you will hear it in the coming weeks, I promise. You also might be seeing your name in a credits scroll on screen right now, and you might not. Everybody who's pledged on Patreon or YouTube memberships at any amount of money gets their name in the credits for the rest of time. But I have hundreds of names that I need to look up. Like, I think I have over 100 patrons. I think I have over 100 members. So, I'm pretty sure that there is an option for me to download like a text list, and I might be able to copy paste it from there to put it into my text scroll effect thingy, which I actually need to relearn how to do that because I haven't had to do a text scroll in more than 7 years. And Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, my editing software has changed so much since then that the old text editor doesn't exist anymore. So it's a new one, so I'm gonna have to figure this out. If there is no text scroll on screen of your Patreon and YouTube membership names, I apologize. I'm probably just still figuring it out, and I just wanted to render this out early to make sure that you guys all get it on time. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I'm sure you care less about the credits and more about getting the video as early as possible, but if I can figure it out this week, that's great. It might take a couple weeks for me to actually get it all, because if I can't just copy and paste it all into a thing and I need to make a new text thing, a new like text document where I put it all in, then, oh man, that might actually take me like a month just to write all that down. Who knows though, who knows? Maybe I'm rambling about nothing. I'm 5 days into the streamathon right now, and things have been going a million times better than I could have ever predicted. It's unbelievable. Like, if you don't know what my financial situation is with this whole streamathon, you don't know about the streamathon, I put up a vlog recently on the channel. Go watch the vlog. You'll get all the details on that, on the weird business fees and the vet fees and the medical bills, just all the stuff. That video has you covered with the actual details if you want to know in detail. But like, I talked about it a little on some of my pre-streams. That's the beginning part of the stream where I'm just talking to the chat and it doesn't get uploaded on YouTube. I mean, those streams have been on YouTube recently, but the pre-stream part doesn't stay up on YouTube. Anyway, I said it before, but I was talking to my buddy Tom Campbell from Cultaholic, a YouTube channel. He also does like BBC Newscastle in the morning or something. And we were talking a little bit, and he told me that he thinks that over the course of this streamathon, that I'm going to realize that a lot of people care about me a lot more than I thought. Now, I mean, I already knew that people care about me a lot. People are very vocal to me about that, and I very much appreciate that. You know, I like to describe myself as magnetic, in that magnets both push and pull. Well, some people get very attached to me very easily and very quickly, and they really like me and they stick with me for a long time. And then there's other people who find me intensely annoying, and they hate me and just nonstop trash talk about me anytime you see them on the internet. They cannot stand my videos. They find me really annoying because I'm loud and I'm opinionated and I talk a lot. I never shut up. It's just a whole lot of things. I just rub them the wrong way. Something about my personality type, I guess. Completely understandable. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That's totally okay. But, you know, I knew I meant a lot to a lot of people. People are vocal about it. There's a lot of people who tell me that they grew up watching my videos. I had a guy the other week on one of the streams telling me that he started watching my channel when he's a sophomore, which, we don't use that term in Canada. I think that's grade 10, I think. And then now he's 27. I think sophomores are, what, like 15 years old? So he's been watching for like 12 years or something. That's crazy. That's insane. But there's a lot of people who have. I've been doing YouTube full-time for 15 years now. There are people from those olden days who are still around, and I'm eternally grateful for that because I'm very proud of a lot of my work in those days. I think a lot of that I would be very embarrassed and cringe myself to death rewatching, because, you know, as much as I can see tidbits of what was good in there, you can't help but get into your creator brain of, like, looking at it and being, oh, I would do that so much better now. Oh, I would do this so different. Oh, why did I do it that way? That was so dumb. Why did I say that? That joke sucks. I would do it so different now. Just, you can't help but criticize yourself a whole lot because, you know, it's, you're trying to be the best you can be, and that's natural. Means a lot to me that a lot of people still enjoy a lot of that old stuff, both the older Let's Plays and the newer Let's Plays and all the other random things I've done over the years. Yeah, I just want to let you know that the Streamathon has been going very, very well so far, and even though it's been going very financially well so far, and it's been really, really helping me keep the business running, that doesn't mean that just because some people have been very generous and donated a whole lot of money, that doesn't mean that because I'm reaching my goals quicker, that the Streamathon is not going to continue. That would not be fair. I think it's completely counterintuitive and weird that if people were to donate a whole lot of money and were extra generous, that I would then do less because I don't need the money as badly. Nuh-uh, it doesn't work like that. It's like I've been saying this whole time, I don't really like accepting money, so if I'm going to accept money, at least let it be some kind of fundraiser so that I can give you guys something back. I can give you guys fun videos and streams and stuff in games that you guys have been asking for years. Lots of Pokemon games, lots of Pokemon ROM hacks, fun stuff like that. So I want to keep doing that stuff regardless, even if I have the money to be okay for a little while. I would like to keep it going and continue to give you guys this stuff that I have promised you, because I think that's really important, and at the end of the day, the show is supposed to be about fun, and what is more fun than me bringing you more stuff that you guys ask for? I think that's the best thing that I can do. Now I gotta see if I can figure out this credits thing. I'll figure it out. If not today, I'll figure it out soonish. Bear with me, everybody. I'm gonna figure it out. This is a one-man job. I'm sure I can handle it. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day. Oh, hi, Rocky. I don't even know if you heard that or not. Yeah, Rocky, do you want to say hi to the people? Hi. Say hi to the people. Oh, he's so quiet now that he's in front of the microphone. Come on, say hi. Oh, he doesn't want to now. He's so shy when he has an audience. All right, Rocky, here you go. Until next time, have a nice day.